Hey you guys, happy June. We are so excited to kick off all of our content this month. We are focused a lot on travel because we both just came back from trips that we are excited to tell you about in today's episode. But we're also going to be sharing some fun things to do in the summer in Indy for a couple of our episodes too. So lots of great content.
Yes, I know, we're excited.
Yay. So let's start with our trips and talking about where we went. So tell us where you went.
Okay, so Nate and I went to New York. It was my first time being in New York. He'd been before, but it had been a while. So we went for our anniversary, and we'd kind of planned it, I guess, back in December, I guess is when we booked our flights.
Cool.
So we knew there was some touristy things that we really wanted to do. One of our favorite things, honestly, though, is to just go and find good restaurants and eat good food. That's Nate's favorite thing, to find cool places to drink, to eat. And then I knew we wanted to hit up some cool, touristy, typical New York.
Yes, of course.
So my personal favorite thing in New York was seeing a Broadway show. I've always wanted to do that. I loved it. It was great. So we went and saw Chicago.
Oh my gosh.
Which
so
I had watched the movie, which I know the movie is not as good as Broadway, but I still loved it, so I was really excited to see the show. So that was so much fun. Loved it. And Nate actually enjoyed it too. I wasn't sure. He's not a big musical type of person. But when at intermission I was like, so are you liking it? Or is this he's like, no, it's cool. So he actually enjoyed it. So I thought that was fun. And then I would say, obviously, lots of good food. We ate at this restaurant in the Chelsea area, the Market District, called Budokan.
Okay, haven't heard of it.
My gosh,
so
it's
good.
Japanese cuisine kind of, but really fancy.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it was probably the best place we ate the entire time we were there. It was so good.
And how did you guys find out about it?
Okay, so I am very let's just go and let's have fun. And he's very Mr. Planner. So he did tons of research before we went and looked in to see kind of what the top restaurants were in New York, what everybody loved. And that was one of the ones at the top of the list that everybody said we had to try. So he made a reservation and it was amazing. The service was great. The food was great. The vibe, just the whole vibe in there was really cool. So
that's awesome.
It was a great choice. So if we go back to New York, we're definitely going to go back there because it was a really good experience.
Yeah.
So and then I got my tattoo in New York,
and
then
so pretty.
Got my nose pierced in New York. So yeah, I was
just
really feeling edgy in New York,
you
know. So it was fun. We had a great time doing that. And then you gave us the recommendation for the tattoo place, so that was good.
Cool.
Because I probably wouldn't have just randomly picked something.
Yeah.
So that was nice that we had a recommendation for that.
Cool.
And then we went to Empire State Building, of course.
Yep.
That was cool. And I was surprised going up that high. I was a little nervous, the elevator ride, but it really was not it really wasn't bad at all. I was surprised. And then we did take a ferry tour. Unfortunately, the weather was kind of lousy. It was kind of rainy and chilly, but we were, we could sit underneath and we got to go by Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty and kind of do all that. So we got to see it. We didn't get to fully experience it, but it was okay. We still had a good time. So it was super fun. I would definitely say if you're going to New York, do some research before you go, because even though we did a lot of research, trying to figure out the subway system is just
girl, yeah.
Holy cow. It was crazy. So thankfully Nate has a great sense of direction, and thank God for GPS on your phones to kind of tell you where to go.
Right.
But it still is crazy. So thankfully we knew kind of each day generally what area we wanted to be in, and that helped because we weren't all over Brooklyn to here to here. So that definitely was helpful to kind of stay in a little hub and kind of try to do as much as you can and plan out your day and what places you want to hit in those specific areas if you're going to do New York.
And did you guys feel like you had enough time? How many days?
Oh my gosh, no. We could have stayed another 5 days probably. So we got in early Sunday morning and then we left on Thursday night. So Thursday really was just kind of a wash, honestly, because it was mostly a travel day, because when we left the hotel, we had luggage, and so we didn't necessarily want to walk around with it. But we probably could have needed at least 3 more days, I would say, to even do it. There's just so much to do. It's crazy. So we wanted to do the High Line. We didn't get to do that, which the weather again was not the greatest. So that would be on our list for next time.
Okay.
But I would say if you're going to do New York and do it well, you need at least a full 7 days. Yeah, I think, to do it. Yeah. So.
No, I would agree with that.
But
I was there for a full summer and still felt like
and that's what everyone who lived in New York was we have a running list of restaurants and we live here, and we still feel like we never get to, because then there's always new things up and coming. So
And there's all the different like little neighborhoods to explore, like the Chelsea area, you mentioned, and West Village, and
we went
Upper
to
East Side.
we went to the Met. That was really that surprised
cool.
me. That's not really like necessarily something I thought I was gonna like really love.
Yeah.
It was Nate and I both like had such a good time there. It was really cool. And I loved, the Upper East Side was really cool. Plus, I just was like trying to pretend I was in Gossip Girl.
Oh yeah, definitely Gossip Girl vibes. Yep,
so that was cool.
Absolutely.
And then we did like Soho, like Tribeca area too.
Oh, Soho's such a cool area.
It was really cool.
It almost feels like you're not in the city in some weird way because it's like a quieter area.
It's like a different vibe.
Yeah.
But I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
So I'd love to go back and spend more time.
Did you guys do Central Park?
We did.
Okay,
so we did go to Central Park when we went to the Met. Then we walked over to Central Park and did that, and that was really cool. And that's so big too. I mean,
huge. Central
Park
is huge.
But we got a hot dog from a hot dog stand, and we sat in Central Park and had our little hot dog, and so that was really cool. So yes, we had a great time. Tips would be definitely plan, make reservations, and definitely do like some touristy things, but don't be afraid to like ask like locals like where to go. Yeah. Because a lot of times you're just gonna get the touristy type, which is not bad.
Right.
But anytime we went somewhere, we're like, are you from New York? Okay, tell us like where are your places to go.
Right.
And then we tried to like kind of hit some of those places too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So fun.
So your trip, you were a little world traveler.
Yeah, we went everywhere. So my brother just graduated from the University of Dayton. So this was a trip to like celebrate his graduation. He still has grad school to go to, but we were like, let's celebrate.
Yeah.
We've been planning this trip for 3 years. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen because the flights to get to Europe are outrageous.
Crazy.
I mean, like you're talking like $1,100 a ticket.
Oh,
and I was like, I'll buy your ticket. It'll be your graduation, birthday gift, Christmas gift for like the next 3 years.
It's fine.
It's fine. But yeah, so I was like, whatever. So in November, we still hadn't booked the trip. We've had a list literally in our phones for the last 3 years of where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
And so in November, 2 days after Cyber Monday, my good friend Haley texted me and she was like, hey, have you guys booked your Europe tickets yet? And I was like, no, we haven't. Well, she found an article of this guy who found round-trip tickets out of Chicago to Amsterdam for $400 round trip.
You're like, sign me up.
So we were like, okay, so I'm getting my extensions redone. And I called my brother and I was like, so how serious are you about this trip? And he's like, I mean, like, I'm ready to go if you are. And I was like, okay, well, I'm booking it right
so
now.
You're not backing out.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
We're going. So we booked our tickets. So we flew out of Chicago, flew to Amsterdam. So we went to Amsterdam, Zurich, Munich, and Salzburg. And it was a 10-day trip that was literally crazy. Like, we were on the go all the time. But it was a lot of fun. I feel like I'm like still recovering.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's okay. So we started in Amsterdam, which I have been to Amsterdam before because I studied abroad there. Right. So I lived there for 3 weeks when I studied abroad. I did an abroad program that was like 3 months long, kind of all over Europe, and that was just one of our stops. So I was comfortable with the city, which I felt good about. Yeah. Like flying into an airport that I kind of was familiar with, staying in a city where I kind of knew where things were, and so that was really helpful. So in Amsterdam, they speak Dutch. Okay. The language barrier wasn't a huge deal there, although Brad looks like he's from...
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
like when we were in Germany, he would, like people would start speaking to him in German because he looks German.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, sorry, I only speak English. Yeah. And people thought that I was like of Asian descent because of my eyes. Oh my gosh, but then the red hair throws people off and they're like, I don't know what you are.
Yeah, exotic.
But yeah, so it's just funny. But yeah, so we got to Amsterdam. We landed. We almost thought we weren't going to make it because our flights were like, we were leaving out of O'Hare and our flight was delayed 45 minutes. Our layover in Minneapolis was 45 minutes. And I was like,
we're literally going to be home alone running to the airport.
I was like, this isn't going to work. So I'm like frantically looking up flights on the Delta app, trying to figure out if we can just make it to Minneapolis in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. So there was a flight out of Midway. So I was like, we're going to Midway. Like, let's just go. We'll figure out the rest when we get there. Yeah. So thankfully, we got on a flight out of Midway, which was not the airport we were supposed to leave out of, but it's fine. Everything worked out. Life is great. We made it to Amsterdam. Whatever. So we make it to Amsterdam. All of their taxis there are Tesla taxis. Literally, like Tesla, an SUV with like the doors that, like the wing doors. Oh yeah, girl. Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
It was so intense. I was like, where are we?
Where are we right now?
Yeah, because I mean, like I'm used to the New York City taxis, the like little yellow cabs that are like really nasty, and you really are not sure if you want to sit in the back seat of them. Yeah, no, like extravagant Tesla taxis. That's so funny. That's actually how it was the whole time we were there. So it was like Teslas or Audis or like really super nice souped up taxis.
Okay, I'm
yeah,
used to this.
Whatever. So it was cool. So Amsterdam was definitely one of our favorite places. We did a bike tour. Cool. This city has 750,000 people in it, roughly. Okay. 650,000 of them own a bicycle, and that's their mode of transportation. That's crazy. So instead of like car parking garages, there are bike parking garages.
Interesting.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But it's really cool. So a little intimidating to ride a bike, especially for someone like me who doesn't ride a bike every day.
Oh, yeah.
And my brother is like so talented. So he's like weaving in and out of people through these little markets. And I'm like, I'm going to push my bike. So I'll see you when we get wherever we're going.
That's fine.
But yeah, so we did a bike tour through like Vondel Park, which is like their little green space in the city. And then just kind of rode throughout the city. But it's beautiful. The city's built on canals, so we also did a canal tour, which we literally, it was just like 8 of us. Brad's friends happened to be there at the same time that we were there. So we literally each got a bottle of wine, and we rented this little boat, and we had it for 3 hours and just like toured the city on these canals.
So fun.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
So that was like really like a dream come true in Amsterdam because it was just cool. Our hotel we stayed in was nice, like nothing super cool about it, I guess, but it had a pretty view and like it was fine, whatever.
Yeah.
So then we moved on to Zurich, which is Switzerland, which when we got there we didn't realize that their currency changed. So in most of Europe they have the euro, which is like the European Union's kind of currency, but not every country over there is a part of the European Union yet, and I don't know the government of how all of that works
either.
It's complicated, but anyway, they operate on francs. And it's almost a 1-to-1 exchange rate, so it was nice to like be able to go to dinner and see that something was 30 francs, which was like basically $31.
Oh,
so that was like that was a nice easy conversion. But Zurich was expensive to that end. It was very, very expensive. But I collaborated with a hotel there, the 25 Hours Hotel Group, which was phenomenal. We walked into our room and I was like, I don't ever want to leave. Like it was so nice. It was so nice. So highly recommend them. They have properties, I think, all over the world, but definitely they're prominent in Europe. So if you're ever going to Europe, definitely check them out because most of their locations are like central and easy to walk to.
That's nice.
Which is super nice, yeah. So we flew to Zurich, stayed there. It was really great. We ate fondue. You can't just like go to Zurich and not eat fondue. Yeah, it was so good. Had some of the best grilled chicken in my life. Like my brother would tell you that we did not eat anything bad because we had sit down dinners every night, but I felt like I had to because I was nervous about the gluten-free situation. I found gluten-free options everywhere I went. It was so easy. I wasn't sick the whole time. Like it was great. Awesome. Yeah, it was really great. But to that end, I couldn't just go get like a pretzel on the street as a snack or whatever. So it was fine. So then we moved on to Munich, which we were only there for 24 hours. You definitely need way more time in Munich. Sure. It's a huge city. 2 days in Zurich was fine. 2 to 3 days in Amsterdam is fine, but Munich you need probably 4 at least. And that's just to see like anything. I mean, that day we literally just like walked around the city. We went to a garden called the English Garden, which is actually larger than Central Park, if you can believe it, in the middle of the city. Yeah, it was insane. We went to the oldest brewery in Munich. That's cool. It was literally built, I think, in the 1500s, and it was like the first big tavern.
That's so cool.
Which was really cool. It's called the Hofbrauhaus. And so Brad had the beers are like
massive. Yeah. Like as big as your head.
Yeah.
Did you take a picture with one? I feel like I saw a picture.
Yes,
oh my gosh. They were huge.
They were huge. So we had a blast. We met a couple from Russia and a couple from Canada there.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool. The Russian couple didn't speak great English, so we literally are like using Google Translate to try to like communicate with each other.
I'm sure that was helpful though.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very cool. So more time in Munich would have been great. But then we moved on. Brad left his passport in Munich.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we left Munich and Brad's passport in Munich in the hotel. Again, we stayed with 25 hours. It was an awesome experience. So we went to Salzburg. We literally couldn't check into our room because we were too early, so we just kind of had explored the city. And we get back to our room to check in, and Brad looks at the safe, and he was like, I left my passport in Munich. I was like,
so how far is Munich away from?
So it's an hour and 45-minute train ride. So that's the other great thing about Europe is that you can travel like by train almost anywhere. I mean, there are some that are like 8-hour-long train rides, but like the one in Munich was not bad. But he didn't have his passport because they don't check your IDs on the train. They do for the ticket holders. Like I had purchased the ticket, so they had to check my ID.
But they didn't have to check his.
No.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, the next morning he took a train back to Munich to get his passport and then back to Salzburg, and life was fine and it all worked out.
Yeah.
But in Salzburg, it is the most like storybook, picturesque little city that is just beautiful. The Sound of Music was filmed there, so we saw a lot of the Sound of Music sites.
Really cool.
Saw the castle. We ate good food there. We had a lot of broths while we were there.
Yeah.
The language barrier was a little bit harder for us there because they speak German, and we got on a bus one time. We like took the wrong way and got on a bus, and our bus driver didn't speak any English.
Yeah. You're like,
that was a little tricky.
Good.
Yeah. So we were like, yeah, but it's fine. And so if you go to Europe, I would encourage you to know basic terms in whatever countries you're going to in their language, like hello and goodbye and please and thank you, or like bathrooms or hospital. I don't know. Like you never know what's going to happen. So it was helpful. I decided to have a phone plan while we were there. It was $10 a day through Verizon, which wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
But it helped with like maps and like knowing where to go, and just in case like we needed anything, which we did with Brad's passport, so I could make a phone call to the hotel and be like, hey, do you have this passport?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an awesome trip, but I wish it could have been a little bit longer. Like if we had a full 2 weeks, that probably would have been great.
Yeah.
But 10 days was fine too.
Yeah. What was your favorite stop out of all the 4? If you had to pick.
If I had to pick just one, I would say Salzburg, only because I'd never been there. Okay. Amsterdam, will always hold a special place in my heart because I just love everything about that city. But Salzburg was just beautiful and so picturesque, and just it was a lot more calm than anywhere else we had been.
Yeah.
And it was warm and the weather was just nice, and so
that's awesome.
Very cool. Yeah. So lots of fun. If you're planning a Europe trip, then I would tell you to check out flight prices.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because that's I feel like where it gets the most expensive, obviously, is trying to get there. And then depending, and you said you pretty much took trains everywhere. If you had, obviously you had bikes when you were in Amsterdam, but in between each places you took a train.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's a little bit better than trying to find 80 modes of transportation. Like literally, we took everything. We took cabs. We took subway. We took the Long Island.
Everything.
Railroad. We took obviously a plane to get there. We were on a ferry. We did Uber. Literally we did it all, which was crazy. So, and that added up more than I guess what we expected it to be.
Expensive.
So you kind of have to be, because there were a few times where we definitely got on the wrong way, and we were like, oh, we did not need to be here, so we just wasted our Metro card. But it was So definitely plan out how to get from point A to point B, especially if you're doing Europe.
Right.
Because you're going to want to know how to get to where you're going.
Yeah.
And not spend a lot of time wasting on
And that's what we did. We had our mode of transportation planned and our hotels planned everywhere. Mm-hmm. Sorry for my coughing attack.
That's okay.
And literally I came home and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, your body's
my allergies and
the allergies are so bad right now.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad. But so definitely make a plan for how to get from point A to point B and know where you're going to sleep.
Yep.
Other than that, I felt like we kind of planned our days based on what we wanted to see that day.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, we both had great trips. Yay for that. Yay for travel.
Travel.
Yes.
If anything in the world, you should spend your money on travel.
Exactly. At least try to one time a year. Even if it's not anything crazy.
Take a weekend trip or whatever. But that's the way that you learn, and explore different cultures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yay!
So, yay. Well, cheers, guys. Stay tuned next week. We'll have more travel tips, packing tips, etc.
Yep.
See you then.
All right. Cheers.